back to Robin Roofs midway inside his own half. Plays it short now to Mukiele. Further to this right-hand side. And Sadiki, under pressure from Ekatike, has to go back towards his goalkeeper. He now plays it into midfield. It's a risky ball, but it was a Enzo Lefay switch, which Andy Robertson does really well to intercept and win the ball back for Liverpool. Gakpo back to Robertson. Now into a central position of McAllister. Does well to hold off Sadiki. And now Van Dijk plays it out wide to Robertson again. Again, this is about 40 yards from the Sunderland goal. Liverpool just keeping the ball at the moment and trying to get a foothold in this game, because Sunderland have had majority of the ball so far in these opening 4.5 minutes. News of another goal in the Premier League elsewhere for you in a second, but McAllister switches the play to Salah on that right-hand side. Does well to bring the ball down under pressure from Reinildo. Salah still going, turns the ball round the corner to Gravenberch. Gravenberch lays it off into the path here of Endo. Back to Gravenberch again, and McAllister's lofted ball in towards the area. It's punched away well by Roofs. Only as far though as McAllister. He's forced backwards to the halfway line in Canate. It's now Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 1. Burnley have just equalised 4 minutes before half-time. Jorgen Strand Larsen had scored twice, but Hannibal has got a goal back for the visitors as Salah on the edge of the penalty area wins the ball back for Liverpool on that right-hand side. Into Wirtz. Needs somebody to show for him here. It goes back to Endo, who, in case you're just joining us, has been asked to play in the right-back role this evening, with, of course, Dominic Szoboszlai suspended after his sending off at the weekend, and Conor Bradley out pretty much for the rest of the season with that knee injury. As Wirtz has it now midway inside the Sunderland half. Out wide to Endo. Back now to Gravenberch. Gravenberch just slows things down a little bit with every single Sunderland player behind the ball at the moment. Good ball from Van Dijk back to his fellow Dutchman Gravenberch into Salah. Salah's little layoff will find Wirtz into the penalty area. Pulls the ball across to Ekatike, but in between him was Alderete, who does well to knock it behind for a corner.
Yeah, it's great defensive work there from Alderete. They're just trying to essentially drown out this Liverpool attack every time they come forward. Happy to dig their heels in, and that's obviously what Liverpool struggle to attack against. I think they did well to pass it around a couple of times, and they've won themselves a corner.
They have indeed. Pleased to say the clock's back up and working now. We're into the 7th minute, and Mo Salah will take this corner. Liverpool's first of the night. Van Dijk and Ekatike up from the back inside the penalty area. What's the delivery going to be like from Salah? Left-footed. It's going to be an in-swinger towards Robin Roof's goal. In comes Salah's delivery towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Ballard heads away powerfully. Wirtz will backtrack to pick it up for Liverpool midway inside the Sunderland half, and goes back now towards Robertson, who switches the play left-footed to this near side. Header is, Van Dijk almost got his header through towards Gakpo, but it was well read by Alderete and Ballard, a combination of the two, and they smuggle it back to Robin Roofs. And you have to say, good header from Van Dijk, but it was very good defending from the two centre-backs.
Yeah, brilliant defending from Dan Ballard, and I have to say, maybe you'd want Ekatike in the box there. A bit of a miscommunication between himself and Van Dijk. They both wanted to header that ball towards Gakpo, but a second option in the box wouldn't have been a miss.
No. At the time, though, it was only Cody Gakpo in and around the penalty spot, but the Sunderland defenders dealt with it well, as Roofs now switches the play to Reinildo over on the left-hand side. He has to go all the way back, 30 yards back to Alderete to keep possession. Alderete, long left-footed ball now over the top. The chase is on for Broby, and very cleverly Alisson stopped his run because he knew it was going to bounce high, and it skidded over the head of the Sunderland striker. And Liverpool will pick up the pieces again. I could say it's Aston Villa 0, Brighton 0 at Villa Park at half-time. That was a 7:30 kick-off. It was supposed to be 7:30 between Crystal Palace and Burnley, but a delay there means that it kicks off slightly later. Gakpo does well to bring it down his chest, plays it down the line towards Ekatike, but Alderete was there to knock the ball out of play. And Liverpool have a throw in midway inside the Sunderland half. Gakpo, good feet from him to get away from his marker. Wirtz now back to Robertson, and now into feet in a central position to Alexis McAllister. On to Canate, striding forward. He's got Salah for support on the right-hand side. The Egyptian gets it, plays it back towards Canate, and now McAllister again, striding forward, 40 yards all of a sudden from the Sunderland goal. Plays it short to Robertson on this left. Out wide to Gakpo, who's going to run at Trey Hume here. Gakpo cuts in field on his right foot, swings a right-footed ball in towards the area. Reinildo does well to header it clear, and then a long-range strike in the end from Canate. He was just trying to make sure he got a boot on it to beat Broby to the ball, and it's gone way over the crossbar. But Liverpool now, Dale, seem to have got a bit of a foothold in this game.
Yeah, they really do. They seem confident in the way they're moving the ball around, and going back to that Canate chance, if you want to call it that. You're right, he's trying to get to the ball first. He's just either shooting or trying to get it into an area that Liverpool can obviously win the second ball from. But it's positive signs from Liverpool that they're trying to come straight out the gate and get a goal.
Burnley have scored twice in 4 minutes to make it 2-2 at Palace as the ball's played forward by Robertson and Ekitike can't quite get there ahead of Roofs, who's out very quickly to slide. Jadon Anthony has got the equaliser for Burnley. That will send shivers, I'm sure, through the Palace fans with that battle against the drop, of course. Every point is important as Van Dijk has it inside the centre circle. Out wide to the right-hand side and Endo. Back it goes to Canate. Midway inside of the Liverpool half. Along the back line again to Van Dijk and now into Robertson. And Robertson will go further back to Alisson. I'm sure Liverpool's players, most of them were sat watching the action last night and will have been relatively happy to see both Chelsea and Manchester United drop points in draws against Leeds and West Ham. As the ball played over the top, Salah chases it, just skids off the surface though, and Roos was out quickly to clear his lines. Endo with a good header down to Ekitike, and now here's Gravenberg, tries to play it in towards Salah, uncomfortable clearance by Reinildo. He's almost run it out of play on the far side. Lefay just about keeps it in, goes back to Roofs, and Roofs under pressure clears first time. Endo got in the way to stop Sunderland breaking forward, and he does again. An excellent sliding challenge from the Japanese international, and Liverpool are away again here with Wirtz down the right. Needs some support here, going on his own for the moment. Finds Salah, back to Gravenberg. 10.5 minutes on the clock. Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0 in this off-tube studio commentary as the ball is out wide with Gakpo on the left hand side. Comes in field, finds Gravenberg. Was well blocked by Broby, who's back there helping out his team, because at the moment it is just one-way traffic as Ekitike has it down the left-hand side, faced up by Hume. Ekitike onto his right foot, still going here, breaking into the area. Did he get a deflection? No. Referee says it came off the Frenchman last, goes behind for a goal kick, but well, it's the same for both teams, but I have to say the conditions aren't conducive really to free-flowing football at the moment, Dale.
No, they're really not, but Liverpool are still trying it. They're still moving the ball around very quickly, left and right. Of course, they keep faking out as well. Like Gakpo, he cut in on his right foot, went to fake the shot, played it back across, and it's these quick passes that Liverpool are trying to make to get in behind this Sunderland team, but maybe the conditions themselves just aren't allowing them to happen.
What a story this is. Palace 2, Burnley 3. It's not half time yet, and Burnley have scored 3 goals in the space of 6 minutes to take the lead. We'll have confirmation of the latest goal scorer in a minute, but what a turnaround there with Palace. We're 2-0 up, and it's not even half time yet. 3-2 now to the Clarets to potentially keep alive their hopes of staying up. As far as Liverpool are concerned, a point this evening would leave them in 6th, and they would be still 4 points behind Chelsea and 5 behind 4th place Manchester United, as Canate had a bit of a clash of heads with Broby as the both of them went up there. Referee is happy that they're both okay, and a non-contested drop ball sees Alisson pick up the possession inside his penalty area. It was Bashir Humphreys who got the 3rd goal for Burnley. Still playing there as well in the first half stoppage time. Ekitike brings the ball down 30 yards from goal, back to goal. Tries to play it round the corner towards Robertson. Looked like he might have been fouled. Referee, I think, has just given a throw in Liverpool's way here. Mukiele was the man who was involved in the challenge with Ekitike. And now Robertson will take the throw in line with the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Needs somebody to come short, and eventually Wirtz does. Robertson plays it back to the German, who will now find McAllister. Under pressure from Sadiki, goes back to Van Dijk. Robertson, back to Van Dijk again. Endo's wide if he needs him. Instead he goes short to Canate. And that's a ball over the top looking for Salah inside the penalty area. Reinildo just got there. Roofs had gone a walkabout inside his 6-yard box. He's very fortunate that his left back dealt with it and they didn't need his goalkeeper. For a moment there, Dale, I thought Roos was going to be completely stranded.
Yeah, it was clearly a miscommunication between Reinildo and Robin Roos, but he's completely off the mark. I don't think he's even judged where the ball's going correctly. It's not a good sign for the number 22, but luckily Reinildo was there to have his back, really.
Yeah, he dug him out of a hole there, well and truly. And it remains goalless with 13 and a half minutes played on this unofficial off-tube studio commentary. Back it goes now from Diarra to his goalkeeper. As we thought, Diarra and Siddiqui are more of the central midfield partnership, with Lefay getting up further, trying to support Broby. Nice little ball from Trey Hume out to the right-hand side. It's miscontrolled by Mukiele. Looks round at the bench as if to say, I didn't realise how slippy it was by the touchline. As Salah now back to goal, plays it back into the Liverpool half to find Virgil van Dijk. And now Robertson, 1-2 with his skipper. Gravenberch gets it inside the centre circle and now fires it forward. And it's given away, is it, in midfield by Sunderland? It looked like they might have been given away, but Robertson's been penalised for a foul. Challenge on from behind on Siddiqui, and it will be a Sunderland free kick, which Ballard takes quickly. It's now passed on by Siddiqui towards Alderete. Again, Sunderland forced to go backwards here to Roofs, who has a couple of touches before firing it long left-footed downfield. Canate in another battle with Broby. Does really well, does Canate, to header it clear. It'll be picked up by Reinildo, though. Comes back in field and finds Lefay, who's very deep at the moment and not able to impact the game from an attacking point of view. And now Siddiqui plays it to Ballard, midway inside the Liverpool half all of a sudden. Ballard back now towards Siddiqui. Alderete's got plenty of room. It is half-time finally at Selhurst Park. Palace 2, Burnley 3, would you believe, after Palace had been 2 goals up. Here is Siddiqui, out wide to Ballard for Sunderland. Back to Siddiqui again, just inside of the Liverpool half. And now Ballard will play it down the line for the chase of Broby. Robertson should have that covered and does. Allows it to cross the byline, goes out of play for a goal kick. I mean, I've got nothing written down, Dale, at the moment in terms of chances. But with a lack of chances, there's still been a relatively entertaining start to the game.
Yeah, it really has been. I think Liverpool, of course, have dominated the ball mostly. I think Sunderland have shown threats on the counter. And with these conditions, I think either side could very easily get a lucky bounce or a lucky break in and get a goal that way. But if you're going off of who's had the ball, who's shown the best of their cards, I think Liverpool have at least won the first 10 minutes.
Ballard miscontrolled his header, went backwards towards Alderete, but he's done well to mop up now and find Broby. Plays it short, out to this right-hand side of Mukiele. Broby goes for the return cross into the area, headed away well by Endo. Lefay has to go backwards into Siddiqui to keep possession, and Siddiqui knocks it back 50 yards to Robin Roofs just to make sure that Ekitike doesn't take it off him. It's the first time really this season where I think that Sunderland have been quite defensive in the opening 15 minutes of a home game. Just trying to go backwards more often than not, just to make sure they don't give the ball away and allow Liverpool to break on them quickly, as Reinildo plays it out wide to the new man Angulo, who goes back again towards halfway, and then Alderete will go all the way back to Robin Roofs, who's probably kicked the ball long about 7 or 8 times already within these first 17 minutes. Still goalless then at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland, the only team in the Premier League unbeaten at home this season. Liverpool threatening that record as the ball was played over the top towards Angulo. It's overhit by Roofs. It'll go out of play for Liverpool throw-in line with the edge of the penalty area. It just gives me a chance to run you through the substitutes, by the way, this evening. For Sunderland, Talby, Rigg, O'Nien, Mundle, Mayenda, Isidore, Gertruda, Elborg and Sirkin. Funnily enough, Liverpool tried to sign Gertruda on loan prior to the transfer window closing. That deal didn't go through in the end as Gravenberch tries to run it clear for Liverpool, but it has it taken off him by Diarra. The Liverpool benches: Mamadashvili, the sub-keeper, Ramsey, Noni, Morrison, Kirkes, Jones, Gomez and Chiesa. So relatively strong benches, I'd say, for both teams this evening. Joe Gomez back on the Liverpool bench after returning to training this week. We've had 1 attempt in the opening 18 minutes. Came from Liverpool, but it was off target. As here come Sunderland going forward now with Mukiele down the right-hand side. Plays a low ball into the area. Great block from Canate to block the effort from Broby. Comes out to Mukiele again on this right-hand side. This low ball in this time is cleared by Van Dijk. But that was excellent from Canate, who stayed touch tight with Broby. And as soon as the ball got there, he was able to block the shot from close range.
Yeah, I think as soon as he realised an attack was brewing, he got as close as he could to Brian Broby. And it's a crucial touch on the ball. He doesn't necessarily get there before Broby, but he knows knows where Broby's going to shoot, and of course he gets himself in the way. Absolutely brilliant defending from the Frenchman.
Yeah, absolutely touch tight to his marker, and that enabled him to get a crucial touch on it, because that was certainly heading towards goal. Whether Alisson would have saved it or not, we'll never know, but long throw in for Sunderland again on this near side from Hume up towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Van Dijk does well to header it away. It'll take one bounce before going out of play for another Sunderland throw in. Sunderland, of course, as things stand at the moment, 10th in the Premier League with 37 points from 26 games. A win tonight for them, though, would move them into 8th above both Bournemouth and Everton. As Hume looked like a double deflection there, and the linesman says it was. Came off Gakpo, hit Hume again, and it will be a Liverpool throw-in midway inside their own half. Now the camera's focusing on Reinildo here. I just wonder whether he's picked up a knock and maybe might be struggling a little bit as Alderete heads the ball away only as far as Wirtz. Gakpo couldn't quite flick it on. That was well mopped up by Mukiele. He does well to win the next header as well, but Canate's there to dispossess Broby. Ball's bouncing around like a hot potato, and eventually Gakpo brings it down inside the centre circle, and Liverpool can build again down the left-hand side with Robertson. Not a great deal of movement ahead of him, so he just has to hold on to the possession and go back towards Van Dijk. And now Canate, who clearly is doing a man-marking job on Broby this evening. Every time he goes forward, he's sticking to him like glue as McAllister plays it in towards Wirtz. Wirtz's first touch wasn't the best, but he gets it away from two Sunderland players and now finds Gakpo on the left-hand side. Gakpo cuts in on his favoured right foot, plays it back down the line to Robertson. Robertson into Wirtz inside the penalty area. Wirtz thought about the shot, got a deflection, and I think it's gone behind for a corner, has it? Wirtz is claiming that it came off a Sunderland leg last, and I think the referee, Chris Kavanagh, agrees. Good build-up play, though, Dale, on the left-hand side.
Yeah, again, it's those quick passes from Liverpool. That's the undoing of Sunderland, but this time, you add in the individual brilliantness of Florian Wirtz, who just weaves in between a couple players and gets his shot off, takes a deflection and wins the corner.
It's going to be taken by Cody Gakpo on this near side. 21 minutes on the clock. Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Virgil van Dijk trying to get clear in the area. Ball in from Gakpo. It's punched away by Roofs. Nodded back up in the air by Gravenberg. And then he's beaten in the air second time around, and Sunderland will look to try and break quickly with Enzo Lefebvre on the left-hand side. Good challenge from Wirtz, who does ever so well to win it back. And now Salah will play the German away down the right-hand side. Back to Salah inside the penalty area. Oh, and he overruns it, and then it ricochets back towards Robin Roofs. It just for a split second there opened up for Mo Salah. It just seemed, Dale, as though he didn't know what he wanted to do with it.
Yeah, he just couldn't really get the ball out from his feet in order to shoot. On that right-hand side, you assume Salah's going to cut in on his left foot and take that shot, but I think most of the Sunderland defenders know he's going to do that as well, so he had to change it up, and he just couldn't make up his mind.
No, and in the end, Sunderland were able to snuff out the danger. So goalless it remains, and Robin Roofs has possession now, 25 yards from his own goal, playing it forward towards Lefebvre. Under pressure from McAllister, does well to find Reinildo. That's a strong challenge from Endo, and the referee says an illegal challenge from the Japanese international, who bundles his man over on that far side. And it will be a free kick to Sunderland, pretty much slap bang on halfway. Yeah, I mentioned it a couple of times now, but it is heavy rain on Wearside and a very wet pitch, and it makes it a little bit tricky to try and get anything going from an attacking point of view. Balls are being overhit, skidding through to goalkeepers. I think, to be honest with you, short passes and getting in behind on the flanks are the way of either team creating opportunities. As Trey Hume prepares to take this free kick now on halfway. Liverpool trying to hold a high line, about 10 yards outside the penalty area. Just a line of players 10 yards from Alisson's box. As Hume now puts his right arm up and is eventually going to take this right-footed. Pings it in towards the edge of the penalty area, hangs up in the air, and that enables Van Dijk to get a firm header on it towards Salah on the halfway line. Salah goes down and is fouled, says the referee, by Reinildo. Salah was about to rant at Chris Kavanagh, and he turned around, realised he's won the free kick, and then stops himself in mid-track. I think it was a free kick, Dale, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was. You can clearly see that Reinildo's pulling on the shirt and the shoulder of Mohamed Salah, and then when he doesn't get the call for the handball that Reinildo thought he was going to get, he pulled even harder, and Chris Kavanagh poor referee got a bit of a jump scare when Salah stood up there.
He did. He's like to say, what on earth are you going to shout at me for? Reinildo, by the way, has been yellow carded for holding onto the ball as Liverpool look to take the free kick quickly. Chris Kavanagh decided to caution him. As Canate goes back to Alisson, we've played 24 minutes of this off-tube studio commentary. It remains Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0, and Dale can take you through to half-time.
And Alisson's going to play this ball over the top, looking for Salah, who's misjudged the height of the ball as it flies over him. And Angulo can drive forward now on the left-hand side, momentarily dispossessed by Gravenberch before Lefay helps out to win it back. Canate will intercept the ball he tried to play. And from one Frenchman to the next, as Angulo will eventually create the foul, as Endo was the man who was brought down. But Liverpool have got it back underway. Now on the right-hand side as Salah checks his run, cuts in on his left foot before playing it back and essentially resetting the play, allowing everyone in a green shirt to get higher and higher up the pitch where they want to be as Wirtz twists and turns in midfield, can't get away from Siddiqui. As Sunderland win the ball back in midfield. Coming forward now on the left-hand side. Angulo will bring it down and look to run at the Japanese makeshift fullback, but it's actually Florian Wirtz who helps out defensively, and then he draws the foul as well. Of course, the conditions not only make for a messy game on the ball, but also will lead to a lot of fouls that are all unintentional, of course, as Salah comes forward, driving in towards the penalty area now on his left foot, tries to put a ball into the box, but recuperates the second ball after the block from Ronaldo. Gravenberch back in possession, ball into the area, looking for Robertson, who's made his way up to the back post, but it's over the Scotsman and behind for a goal kick. But Liverpool clearly struggling a little bit with the surface and trying to get balls into the box, but with how Sunderland are defending, they have to be perfect.
Yeah, it's just the final third at the moment where Liverpool are kind of being blocked off in and around the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Not the only team to suffer that, of course, at the Stadium of Light this season. I have to say, though, standout player for me so far, Florian Wirtz, has absolutely worked his socks off. And then when he has got a hold of possession, he's the one who's looking to try and pull the strings. As it is at the moment, though, not quite been able to make the breakthrough as Liverpool build again from the back.
Yes, Van Dijk winning the header, plays it to Robertson, and then across the back line before it eventually finds its way to Alisson. He brings the ball to a standstill pace as we see pictures of the crowd clapping for George Foster, who passed away in commemoration, of course. Even Regis Labrise joined in as look to get things back underway. Even Alisson has stopped momentarily just to commemorate, obviously, the death of a former player, as Salah plays it to Gakpo on the left-hand side. Now Ekitike, Liverpool trying to come forward back towards Gravenberch, and again Sunderland happy to dig their heels in and just prevent Liverpool from playing free-form football, as Gravenberch looks to come forward, but you can just see a wall of white and red shirts. So he's forced out towards the left-hand side. Gakpo drifts onto his left foot, drives towards the byline, puts a ball into the area. Ballard will head away. Robertson puts it back in, but it's then cleared again, only as far as Canate. Back towards Virgil van Dijk. Robertson on the left-hand side. A low ball this time, but it'll be headed straight back to the feet of the Liverpool 26. Virgil van Dijk just inside the Liverpool attacking half as Gravenberch picks the ball up again. Sunderland clearly happy to just sit back and get the ball away as soon as possible and then wait for their chance to attack on the counter. A bit of a loose pass out towards the right-hand side. Finds its way to Endo nonetheless, and all the way back they go to Liverpool. Inside their own half now. Out towards Robertson. Robertson, of course, being linked with moves away to Tottenham in the January transfer window. Now he's being linked with Celtic as well, as former Liverpool teammate Oxlade-Chamberlain made his way there. But for now, he remains a Liverpool man on the left-hand side and back in possession as he looks for an option inside in Ryan Gravenberch. He just walks forward yard by yard. Liverpool get closer and closer to the Sunderland goal. Essentially a back five now as they defend, but Wirtz has made his way through inside the penalty area but can't get the ball out with his feet, and then eventually Dan Ballard will stab it away and draw the foul at the same time.
I don't think he's given it, actually, Dale. Chris Kavanagh has said that he made a bit of a meal of it, Ballard. And I think he's given Liverpool a throw-in. It was a lovely flick from Ekitike to get it through to Florian Wirtz. No, he didn't touch him. He threw his leg out, did Ballard, and tried to play for the free kick, but the referee was having none of it, and Liverpool have the ball back.
Credit where credit's due for Chris Kavanagh as Ryan Gravenberch lines up a shot, but it is blocked by Brian Broby. Salah will chase down the second ball, but Ronaldo will beat him to it as Konate gathers the clearance. And again, Virgil van Dijk's telling him to play it backwards, play it safe, but instead he's decided to go up the line, find Endo, who's wandered up and up. But again, it's back to Konate. Now Robertson once more finds Gravenberch in midfield, but it's a slow build-up for Liverpool. It's slow, it's patient, and it's all at once as they just wait for that trigger. Florian Wirtz with the shot from distance, though. Clearly not waiting too much there as he takes the shot on from distance, but Robin Roos just too strong hands behind it.
Yeah, you just mentioned the word that I think needs to be passed on from Arne Slot really more than anything, Dale, and that is patience. They have to be patient, Liverpool, because Sunderland are going to make it difficult for them, get everybody behind the ball. It's a cracking strike from Wirtz, looking from behind him when he hit that shot. It's flying into the corner. Roos has to get a touch on it. Liverpool corner.
It will be Gakpo to put the ball in from the left-hand side as Liverpool attack it. And again, completely filling up the 6-yard penalty area as the ball comes into the box. Header comes in from Van Dijk, I think, but he's always leaning back to try and get his head on it. He's not able to do anything other than spoon it over the top of the bar.
Yeah, it's a bit too close to goal, I think, more than anything. He just can't get the deft touch that he needs. He gets too much on it and it goes over the top of the crossbar. But I think, bearing in mind the conditions and bearing in mind Sunderland's home form this season, I think Liverpool can be relatively happy with how things have gone so far. After a bright start from the home team in the first 5 minutes or so, they have dominated possession, the visitors. Just got to keep the head screwed on, though, because when this ball goes forward, Sunderland can cause problems on the drop down when the header is cleared, as it is on this occasion by Van Dijk. It goes out of play for a Sunderland throw, and it might be hurled into the area again.
Yeah, certainly will at least set up in the penalty area, as if they're about to throw it into the box. Of course, as Trey Hume makes his way across, although we've seen many times Trey Hume, he'll fake the long throw and play it short and then opting for a cross. Maybe thinks he can be a little bit more accurate with the ball at his feet, the Northern Irishman. But he lines up and then again plays it short. Mukiele back to Hume, ball into the box now, in towards the back post, and Alisson will claim it in the end for what I'm sure he expected to be a challenged claim, but in the end was quite free as Ekitike comes forward. Now plenty of space to run into. Check the ball onto his right foot. Still going forward is Ekitike as he lines up a shot, but it's being blocked, and it'll go all the way through to Konate as he gathers the ball inside of his own half.
I just wonder, Dale, whether we'll see less long throw-ins next season. I get the feeling that teams have kind of worked it out a little bit now and know how to deal with it. So far tonight, nobody's really had any joy with those long throws into the area.
Certainly not, at least up until this point, as Robertson plays a lovely ball in behind for Gakpo. Ball towards the back post. Salah wasn't tall enough to get there. Endo tries his hand at putting it back into the area, but it's overhit. It's dealt with just about by Siddiqui. As Robertson plays it in towards Gakpo, now in towards Florian Wirtz in the box. It's a lovely strike, it's off the woodwork, it's on the right hand side of the goal, but it's just hit the post and it's dribbled out towards the right hand side. Endo back towards Gravenberch, he finds McAllister, the 1-2 between the Argentine and the Dutchman. Not a great one as it goes back towards Konate, still in possession are Liverpool, but what a strike it was from Wirtz to almost pick out his spot between all the defenders.
Yeah, it was almost the only place he could go to score, and he's got it through the legs of a Sunderland player, and it's come off the far post with Robin Roofs beaten, but Liverpool's starting to pick up the pace here now.
Yeah, Salah on the right hand side tries to cut it back, unable to do so, but does find Ryan Gravenberch. He'll play it back once more for Konate. Now Wirtz on the right. finds Gravenberch, ball into the box, incoming as it's delivered in towards the back post, falls towards Gakpo, shifts onto his right foot, couldn't get the shot away, and then out towards Robertson again. I think the big issue for Sunderland currently is that they're not winning any of these second balls as Robertson comes forward on the left-hand side, ball in towards the back post. Reynaldo doesn't deal with it well. Salah takes the shot, but it's deflected. Endo back into the area. Gakpo looking to get there. Robertson will chase the second ball, but eventually Sadiki will be helped out by Diarra as well, who looks to get this ball away. Pressure from Robertson is coming to a halt, it seems, now as Chris Kavanagh does eventually give the free kick, but it was only a matter of time there until Diarra got the foul. But plenty of chances there for Liverpool. I'm seeing that chance from Florian Wirtz. It's just inches wide, maybe too much curl, it seems, as it curls onto the post away from goal.
Yeah, kind of skidded off the surface, didn't it? We've been saying how wet it is, and it sort of skidded away from roofs and then off the base of the post. The only frustration for Liverpool is that Salah had already gone into the 6-yard box. Maybe if he'd have halted his run, he could have taken advantage when the ball came off the upright. But, well, we've got just over 10 minutes of normal time left to go at the end of this first half, and Liverpool will feel like they're the team that are creating the opportunities, and chances are going to come their way between now and half time.
Ekitike plays the ball up the left-hand side to find Florian Wirtz. Good pass through the legs of Sadiki, finds his way to Gakpo, who draws the foul from the Sunderland midfielder Enzo Lefebvre. And Sunderland not seeing much of the ball as it is. The last thing they want to do is give away free kicks in dangerous situations and allow Liverpool essentially a free ball into the box, which is what they've already been struggling with.
Yeah, it's not certainly what Regis Lebris would have been asking for. Sunderland seem to just be panicking in possession at the moment. And then, as you said, Dale, are not picking up the second balls, and Liverpool have got away again. Yeah,
Gakpo up the left-hand side, ball into the box. It falls to Van Dijk with this strike. And I think it comes off the head of Alderete in the end. Virgil van Dijk maybe trying to show the strikers how it's done.
Yeah, it fell to him and he was very calm, took his time, tried to line the shot up. It was definitely on target, but Alderete did well to get his head to it and flick it over the bar. Wondering whether Roofs would have saved it anyway. It was probably going down the goalkeeper's throat, but either way, Liverpool have got themselves another corner.
This time it's from the left-hand side again. As Gakpo puts the ball into the area, straight into the 6-yard box. It's carnage until eventually Enzo Lefebvre gets it away. The Frenchman doing well defensively up until this point, but of course that's not where he wants to be involved in this team. I think you could say the same about Angulo and Hume. They want to go forward, they want to help out this Sunderland team get a goal, but they know to do that, they need to weather this storm of Liverpool as Van Dijk picks the ball up just inside the Sunderland half, out towards the left-hand side now for Cody Gakpo. He cuts in left and right, twisting and turning before putting the ball into the box, but it's not a great ball, and eventually Sadiki will try and get away. Ekitike carelessly puts his hands on the back of the midfielder, the Sunderland 27, and gives Chris Kavanagh no choice but to blow his whistle for a free kick. A moment of respite for Sunderland.
Yeah, just seeing Regis Lebris at the moment trying to get some instructions over to his team. Clearly not happy with what's going on out there at the minute because Sunderland are dropping deeper and deeper. I have to say what's really surprised me is that Liverpool have caused them problems from set pieces. I would have thought that Sunderland would have dealt with most things okay. As it is, they're on the back foot again as Salah comes forward.
Salah with the ball into the area on the outside of the boot. Wirtz with the header, but it's a brilliant save in the end from Robin Roos. A bit scrappy in the end, but he's got the job done as the goalkeeper, and Liverpool still yet to score.
Well, I think Wirtz has been brilliant in this first half, but I actually think he could do better here. He just seems to turn his head out the way as Roofs is coming for it. Maybe thought he was going to get clattered by the goalkeeper, but if he's more intent on getting a header, a proper header on that, he probably scores.
Gravenberch picks the ball up in midfield, back out towards Gakpo on the left-hand side. Ball into the box is a little too close to the goalkeeper, and it's an easy claim for Roos in the end. But I have to agree, I think Wirtz has almost let the ball hit his head as opposed to actually trying to direct it goalwards. Of course, he's not known for his aerial prowess, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but when he's that free, he has to do better. As Angulo comes forward on the edge of the penalty area, takes the shot, but it's a bit of a tame one in the end. Easy claim for Alisson as it turns into catching practice.
Yeah, pretty straightforward. The only thing is, on this wet surface, if it skids right in front of you, as it did a little bit there, Alisson's got to be very careful, but normally a very safe pair of hands. Of course, that is the end where Darren Bent scored that infamous goal with the beach ball on that occasion, as Liverpool come forward again in numbers.
As Liverpool now with Florian Wirtz, plays it out towards left-hand side, plenty of space for Cody Gakpo, shifts onto his right foot, and again takes the shot. Now Cody Gakpo, he's had his critics as of late. He's maybe playing a little too predictable, it seems, as Sunderland know what to do to defend him. But Broby now in the penalty area of Sunderland as they come forward. Sadiki, Mukiele now on the right-hand side, slowed down a little bit, maybe losing some of that momentum, as Lefay tries to play it in towards Diarra, but it's overhit a little bit too far to the left for the number 19 to get on the end of. And it's an easy claim for Alisson. It almost seemed like they wasted their time there.
Yeah, it did. And do you know what? Again, Dale, there's a massive gap between midfield and Broby, because the ball got played in by Sadiki towards the feet of Broby. He turned round, he did well to hold off Konate, and he looked for support, and it wasn't a player within 20 yards of him in a red and white striped jersey, so he had to play it all the way back. And eventually Lefay, right idea, tried to play it into the channel, but he overhit it. So Sunderland could do with squeezing up another 10 or 15 yards at least from the back, just trying to force a bit of pressure onto Liverpool. But at the minute, it's the men in green who look the more likely still to break this deadlock, with around about 5.5 minutes of normal time to go.
Konate just on the ball inside his own half, plays it to McAllister, as Liverpool again show that patience, the ability to pass the ball around 10-15 times before actually trying to go forward and attack. McAllister, he finds Gravenberch, now Wirtz, Endo on the right hand side, ball into the box, and you can tell he's not used to being in that position, trying to supply. He's used to taking the ball off of people, let alone give it to someone else. But Endo with the ball into the box, no curve at all, which is what it needed.
As good as he is defensively, Endo, that's where his game lets him down. And Alan Slot looked away in frustration when he saw that cross go straight into the arms of Robin Roos, because there were 2 or 3 Liverpool players waiting for the ball. Here come Liverpool again, though, away down left-hand side.
Yes, with Robertson now finds Gakpo. Back towards Robertson. It's a lovely weighted pass in towards the box, but Roos has got a leg to it. Didn't look confident, but he's got the job done.
No, great run from Robertson. Played a 1-2 with Gakpo, gets to the byline. It looked like he might not get there for a second. It's slightly heavy, the pass from Gakpo. He's done ever so well to pull it back, and Roos just had to get something on it. Comes off his heel, really, as he stuck his leg out, and it will be another Liverpool corner. Look at the wind blowing that flag around. And
again, it will be Cody Gakpo's corner. Maybe wants to aim it slightly to the right with that wind. It'll, of course, carry the ball through the air. Would explain why a lot of balls have been overhit, as the ball's delivered into the box, headed away by Ballard, picked up by Gravenberch on the right-hand side. He has got Enzo Lefay challenging him for the ball, but Gravenberch makes his way past, puts the ball into the box, and it's cleared behind by the Sunderland captain, Trey Hume. So it will be another Liverpool corner, but this time you'll assume it'll be Salah's delivery from the right-hand side.
Just feel here, Dale, that Liverpool have to try and take advantage of this period of play where they're really on top, creating chances as well. So you feel like Sunderland will improve in the second half, but at the moment it's all Liverpool from an attacking point of view.
Again, loading up the 6-yard box, looking to create some chaos as the ball comes into the area, headed back behind by Angulo. Salah decides to let it go behind for another corner kick, essentially a retake for the long time Liverpool man, as he looks to hopefully put a better ball into the box from his perspective. As Virgil van Dijk, as chaotic as that 6-yard box is, he's asking more Liverpool players to get into the area, as the ball's delivered in, but it's headed away by the first man again. McAllister twisting and turning, gets away from 2 Sunderland players before playing it out towards Salah. Ball into the box is easily claimed by Robin Roast once more. I'm starting to agree with you, Warren, that Liverpool, it seems like lately their games go one of 2 ways. Either they score early on and then continue to play well, or they play well but don't make the most of those the momentum that they've had, the chances that they can create, and it can come round to be a mistake as Gakpo wins the ball back in midfield. Looks like Liverpool can break. It'll be even numbers momentarily as Gakpo holds on to the ball just slightly too long. Doesn't play in Wirtz, but McAllister will pick up the second ball. Gravenberch will pick it up in midfield, but it looks like an injury. I think it's either Mukiele or it's actually Habib Diarra in midfield. He just caught a knock when Gakpo won the ball back, and it looks like a sore one, but again, not much that Gakpo can do about it.
The cynic in me says that he's gone down, Diarra, holding his ankle, but actually it was his foot that was trodden on as he got the ball there. Gakpo got the ball cleanly, and as he followed through, he's kind of caught the bottom of Gakpo's studs, and it's a painful one, don't get me wrong, but I'm not sure he should be clutching onto his ankle, because it wasn't that strong a challenge on that area. It was blatantly on his toes, and he is back up on his feet now, Diarra, and he'll be fine to carry on. And Sunderland, I'm assuming, will try and throw the ball back to Liverpool for knocking the ball out of play. They do. Diarra plays it all the way back to Alisson. We've got 1 minute of normal time left to go. I can't imagine there'll be any more than one or two added on.
No, certainly not. And even if there is one or two added on, it'll be for that minute there that Habib Diarra just needed to compose himself and get him back up on his feet. As Alisson plays the ball out towards Andy Robertson, finds Florian Wirtz with a nice pass into the midfield. Ekitike back out to the left-hand side. Gakpo right and tight on the touchline. As Florian Wirtz picks it back up, plays it back to Robertson, and they'll reset once more. Decided not to go up the right-hand side was Virgil van Dijk, but Robertson will do just that anyway, as Konate plays the ball straight into the penalty area. Ballard will deal with it slightly as Mukiele looks to break away with the ball, striding forward inside his own half before he's eventually collapsed on by Alexis McAllister. But he's won a throw-in, has the French fullback, and it'll be a chance for Regis Lebrie's side to get forward from this throw-in. There has been only 1 minute of added time, so you'd assume that they could maybe throw it up the line and create some sort of attack for Sunderland, as they've of course struggled to really shoot. That was one of my biggest complaints for this Sunderland side in their recent outing against Arsenal. And they didn't really shoot all too much, even though they created a lot of chances. And granted, they haven't created too many chances in this matchup, but even when they have, they've hesitated to shoot. As Alderete picks the ball up on the left-hand side, drifts inside the Liverpool half. 15 seconds left of the 60 added on. Into midfield now as Mukiele. He finds Hume. Diarra. He's got an option of Mukiele inside. Siddiqui, ball into the box, dealt with well by Gravenberch, and Wirtz will lay it off to Gakpo. Broby is adamant that he was fouled inside the penalty area then.
Yeah, and this is a worry for Liverpool, because Konate has been battling away with Broby throughout this first half, and Broby went to the deck, claimed he was being pulled back by Konate. I don't know how much there was in terms of grappling between the two. It's one of those, they're pushing and pulling each other. I think it would be very harsh if VAR decide that this is worth looking at from the referee. And it looks at the moment as though Chris Kavanagh may well be blowing up. He has blown up for half-time. So clearly they thought it wasn't enough in it for a penalty. Nothing to separate the two sides at the break as they walk off goalless at the Stadium of Light. Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Join us very shortly for second half of Tube Studio commentary. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Konate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed around the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs, and then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German, and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Canate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs. And then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Konate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Half-time at the Stadium of Light, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. The visitors have looked the more likely to break the deadlock and have come the closest. Good passing move on the half-hour saw Wirtz's 25-yard strike pushed round the post by Roofs. And then 3 minutes later, Gakpo pulled the ball back to the German and Wirtz's low shot hit the base of the post. Sunderland's best effort came on 19 minutes when Mukiele's right-wing cross saw Broby's shot blocked on the stretch by Konate. At half-time, Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. Well, a warm welcome back. We're just underway at the start of the second half. Goalless after 45 minutes, of course, at the Stadium of Light. And it is Liverpool who are pushing forward in the early stages. But a free kick has been given against Cody Gakpo, 25 yards from the Sunderland goal. So it will be a free kick to the home team. Unofficial Off-Tube studio commentary brought to you by Warren Ashurst and Dale Rosso. And we'll run you through the teams when we get a bit of a bigger break in play, because Sunderland have already taken the free kick quickly. It looks like, as you were with both teams, no substitutions at half-time. And Robin Roos has possession on the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Left-footed launches this long downfield. Konate, slight nudge on Broby, but I don't think he was going to get there, so the referee has played on. And Ballard now goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. And Roofs now will keep possession and find Alderete. Elsewhere, by the way, Aston Villa have scored late through Tyrone Mings to lead Brighton by a goal to nil. And elsewhere, still Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 3, Manchester City 3, Fulham 0, and Nottingham Forest 0, Wolves 0. As the ball is back with Dan Ballard on the edge of his penalty area. Let's quickly run you through the teams then. Sunderland with Roofs in goal. A back four of Mukiele, Ballard, Alderete and Reinildo. It is Siddiqui and Diarra in the centre of midfield, with Enzo Lefebvre just ahead of them. Hume on one side, Angulo on the other, and Broby through the middle. As Angulo has this ball down the left-hand side now, faced up by Endo. Does well to take on the Japanese man and then throws the ball into the area, where it's headed away by Van Dijk, only as far as Mukiele. His ball in is blocked by Gakpo. And Siddiqui has to retrieve it on that right-hand side. Back to the full-back again. Mukiele comes in from that right wing. Needs a option here, and he eventually gets one from his fellow full-back Reinaldo, who now plays it down the line towards Angulo. Angulo's faced up by Salah, plays a low ball, and it wasn't a very good ball, has to be said, and Endo gets it clear. Again, though, Sunderland have squeezed up on Liverpool and win the ball back here now as Siddiqui plays it out wide to the left-hand side. Chance potentially to get the ball in the area. Ball's not a bad one, and Allison with this greasy ball has decided not to take a chance and just punches it out of the way. And Liverpool will have to do some defending again. Let's just remind you of the Liverpool lineup. It's Allison in goal, and then a back four of Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate and Endo. Gravenberch and McAllister are the central midfielders, with Gakpo on the left-hand side, Salah on the right, and Wirtz in a kind of floating role behind Ekitike. I can tell you, by the way, it's finished. Nottingham Forest 0, Wolves 0, which is a big setback for Forest in particular in their battle to avoid the drop. Still goalless here as well. Not much has changed in terms of formation or anything, Dale, in this second half. Sunderland, though, have started a bit quicker.
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. I think there's no real need for Sunderland to have changed formation yet. I think they've done well to make it through the first half without conceding. I think if they try a different mindset for the next 10-15 minutes, of course, and then see where the changes need to be. But they're being more aggressive and stepping up a little bit more.
Here's Enzo Lefebvre on the edge of the penalty area, plays it into Hume. Hume now tries to take on his man. McAllister did well to stand up and win the ball, and Konate fires it out to the left where Ekitike will just keep it in play, and he just drifts past Ballard, and Ekitike's got some support from Salah, and Gakpo tries to play it into Gakpo. It wasn't the best of balls, and it's intercepted in the end by Mukiele. It was brilliant play to start off with by Ekitike to get away from Dan Ballard, but in the end just let the ball get away from him. And Sunderland were able to step in and clear the danger. It's the first time, Dale, really, that we've seen Ekitike with room to run into in this game.
Yeah, I think that's, again, going back to the fact that Sunderland are trying to be a little bit more aggressive. They're going to have to step up, which is going to allow Ekitike some space to run in behind and get control of the ball and really exploit that. So I think Regis Lebrie's side, they're going to have to find a nice balance of that, of going forward and showing offensive threat, but also not just allowing Liverpool to play however they want.
Endo gets a good sliding challenge in, but the ball comes back towards the Sunderland man Diarra. And now Angulo, midway inside the Liverpool half. Back again now to Sadiki. Enzo Lefebvre again having to drop deep in order to get possession. And Ballard now will find his centre-back partner Alderete, who left-footed will hoist it long. Headed away well on the stretch by Endo. Angulo picks up the pieces, finds Trey Hume with a strike. And it wasn't a bad effort. It's about a yard over the bar in the end. I'd be honest, I think Allison probably had it covered, Dale, but it was a decent hit from the Sunderland man. Yeah,
it was a really good hit. I think it was good enough to the point that Allison had to raise his hand and make sure, and I think that's all you can really ask for when he's shot from so far away. I think comparing that to Kanate's effort from the first half, I think it's a lot better.
Full-time whistles blown at the Etihad. Manchester City have won by 3-0 at home to Fulham. As the ball is played down the line by Endo. Couldn't quite reach Mo Salah. Lefebvre takes it forward for Sunderland. And then Gravenberch hits it off the legs of Lefebvre. And it goes out of play for a Liverpool throw-in. I'm assuming we're going to see plenty of substitutions in the final 20 minutes. Because this looks like an energy-sapping pitch at the Stadium of Light. It is very wet still. As we've seen pictures of Granit Xhaka in the crowd. He not in the matchday squad again today, having missed out, of course, at his former club Arsenal as well on Saturday. Here is Salah down the... here is Robertson, I should say, down the left-hand side. Salah played the ball out wide to him. Here's Gravenberch. Now on to Endo. Salah again, this time on the right. Plays it back into Gravenberch, 30 yards from goal. Ball around the corner from Ekitike. Wasn't a bad idea, but on this occasion, Wirtz wasn't on the same page as him. And it just drifts through into the arms of Robin Roofs. Feel like it's either going to be a mistake or a cracking goal which is going to break the deadlock here. As Ekitike goes in to try and block Robin Roofs and then catches the goalkeeper maybe with his arm, unintentionally you'd have to say, but Chris Kavanagh has gone over there straight away to check on the goalkeeper. Let's see a replay again. I'm not entirely sure there was a lot in it, but you know, he sticks his arm out like that. I wouldn't be surprised, Dale, if he ends up getting a yellow card here. Yeah, that was certainly my first thought when it happened. I think I wouldn't say he's necessarily lucky that he's not got a yellow card, but you could definitely understand if it was given. I think Robin Roofs has certainly got fortunate that he was quick enough to react and not allow Ekitike to win that ball back. Yeah, and he's actually escaped without a caution here, Hugo Ekitike. Referee's just given a free kick in Sunderland's favour. 52 minutes on the clock, still Sunderland 0, Liverpool 0. And Roofs left-footed will clear this long downfield. Slices it a bit off his boot. It's miscontrolled there by Angulo. Does well to win it back though. And then Kanate slides into the challenge. And Angulo picks up the pieces down the left-hand side. Still going here. Good challenge from McAllister to temporarily dispossess him. And then McAllister does brilliantly well to win it back for a second time. He's clearly fouled by Angulo. It'll be a free kick to Liverpool, 25 yards from their own goal. But that was excellent work by Alexis McAllister, because for a moment there, Sunderland were breaking away down the left-hand side, and that looked dangerous for Liverpool. Yeah, it really did. And of course, Alexis McAllister signed for Liverpool and obviously wears the number 10, signed as a 10, but he's, under Arne Slot, picked up this defensive role, and I think he's improved over recent weeks, really just showing that he can be tough while also going forward and helping out offensively, and that was a sign of it there, that he can really put in these crucial challenges. Great play again from the Argentinian, who finds Gakpo. Now on to Wirtz. Down the left-hand side is Ekitike. Not a great deal ahead of him. Eventually finds Gakpo. Back to Ekitike again on the edge of the penalty area. Plays it wide to Salah. Endo goes on the overlap. Salah has really shown too much of the ball to Reinildo, and then he's given it straight back to the Egyptian. So Salah's away down the right-hand side here. Going to take it towards the byline. Mo Salah, his attempted cross is blocked by Angulo. Goes behind for a corner kick. Well, firstly, Dale, Salah was slightly fortunate to get that ball back, but it wasn't good play by Reinildo at all. No, it really wasn't, and I think Mohamed Salah, as fortunate as he was, still did really well to get to the byline.
And Angulo did just as well to keep up with the Egyptian, put in the sliding challenge, but Liverpool with yet another corner.
Aston Villa have won. They've beaten Brighton by 1-0 as Liverpool prepare to take this corner kick. Van Dijk and Konate again inside the 6-yard box. What's the delivery going to be like by Salah on this occasion? Not a bad ball in towards the 6-yard box, punched away by Roos. It's going to be Wirtz who picks up the pieces. His attempted cross is blocked by Broby, who's back there helping out his back line, and it goes out of play for a Liverpool throw-in, which Wirtz takes quickly. Back it goes now towards Gakpo. Plays a 1-2 with Wirtz. Gakpo's away down that left-hand side. Does brilliantly to work some room. Plays it back to Robertson. Attempted ball by Wirtz towards Gakpo is blocked, but Wirtz wins it again. German plays it into feet, inside to Gravenberg, inside the area, and then Wirtz with the shot, blocked by Ballard. Again, Sunderland get bodies in the way. Konate forward to Endo. Endo's shot is blocked again by a Sunderland player, this time Angulo, and then it's hacked clear towards this near side where Virgil van Dijk will just hook it back over his shoulder, and Endo will flick it into the path of Salah on the edge of the penalty area. Salah overruns it, and it's cleared by Alderete, but Liverpool getting up a bit of a head of steam here as McAllister gets the ball in the middle of the park. Konate, a 1-2 involving Gravenberg, plays the ball, it probably just skid off the surface, it does, goes out of play for a goal kick, but I don't think I remember a game for quite some time, Dale, where I've seen so many shots blocked in and around the penalty area, and the majority of them have been blocked by Sunderland. Yeah,
Liverpool really starting to amp up the pressure. They're creating these chances and obviously taking them when they can, trying to shoot, but there's just so many red and white shirts in and around the penalty area that they just can't get a clear shot away. Obviously that's credit to Sunderland. They know how to defend this Liverpool side, and they've done it well for 55 minutes.
They have. There's a player down at the moment getting some treatment. It was Angulo. He is back up on his feet though now, and Robin Roos will start again for Sunderland. Plays it out to the right hand side, and Ballard feigns to go one way then the other. Wirtz is not going to fall for that trick, so he has to go back to Roos in order to keep possession, and the Sunderland keeper will clear it long downfield. That's a shocking attempt to try and control the ball by Angulo, who miscontrols it out of play for a throw-in to the visitors. And Endo will now throw the ball back towards Konate. Now back to Allison inside the penalty area, onto Van Dijk. Robertson now will play the ball down the line. It's well held up by Gakpo, plays it back to Robertson, bursting forward in towards Ekitike. Great sliding challenge from Ballard to dispossess him, and now Lefay plays the ball on for Broby, who gets the other side of Konate. Broby inside the penalty area now, goes one way then the other. Konate does well to stand up and get the ball, and then McAllister also mops up, but in fact the flag had already gone up for Broby being offside.
Yeah, I think it was quite clear that he was offside in the first place. We'll see it back, and it's actually a lot closer than it looked.
I'm not sure he was he?
I think if, for whatever reason, Broby had gone to score there, I wouldn't rely on it being ruled out for offside, but he's got a tendency to overrun, and on this occasion I think he was good.
Yeah, it did look like he was just onside. I mean, thankfully from Sunderland's point of view, they didn't go on to score. Liverpool had already got players back to snuff out the danger, so it wasn't the end of the world in terms of the official's decision, as Alderete has the ball on the edge of his own penalty area. Left-footed, dinks the ball up towards Lefay. His header didn't quite come off, but it'll be picked up again by Sunderland, and it's out with Angulo on this left-hand side. Little flick past Endo. Endo reads that really well to get back and dispossess him, and then McAllister holds off the challenge of Hume and then gives the ball away cheaply to Mukiele on the right-hand side. He's up towards the edge of the Liverpool penalty area. Mukiele with a shot, and it's low and wide of the near post. Not sure that was the right decision to make there. Once he got in and around the edge of the penalty area, he only had eyes for shooting, but it was going to take some effort to beat Allison from there. Yeah,
it really would have taken something spectacular from there for Mukiele to get it past Allison, but I do like that Sunderland are happy to take these opportunities that they get. They might not be as good as they could want them to be, but you don't win a ticket. You don't win the lottery without buying a ticket. And he's took the shot on. It's not been the greatest, but at least he's shooting.
Gakpo flicks the header on towards Ekitike, then Ballard's clearance only finds Wirtz. Liverpool have got 4-on-4 here going forward. It's out wide with Ekitike, plays the ball back towards Salah with a left-footed shot, and it gets another deflection and goes behind for a corner. Well, Liverpool all of a sudden almost outnumbered Sunderland there going forward for the first time, really. Ekitike pulled it back, and Reinildo knew nothing about it, hit him on the ear, and goes behind for a corner.
I'll be surprised if he doesn't have some sort of concussion there after that shot. Plenty of power on it as it came off the side of Reinildo's head, but Mohamed Salah, very rarely does he miss the target. Now has a chance to supply for someone else.
Yeah, Liverpool look dangerous from these set pieces. His delivery is good again. You fancy that they might create a chance here. Gakpo and Van Dijk inside the 6-yard box. Salah's ball in. It's not properly cleared by Sunderland. Comes off Mukiele again and goes behind for another corner. Salah will have another opportunity to swing this ball in. The ball boy decided not to get the other ball that was at the side. He's going to run for the ball that went out of play. So there's a slight hold up here whilst eventually the ball reaches Salah. Endo, Gakpo, Van Dijk, Konate all inside the 6-yard box in green jerseys. Konate's moaning that Alderete's fouling him, so Chris Kavanagh's going to have a quick word to both sets of players. And it will eventually be Mo Salah to take this latest corner kick. What is the delivery like on this occasion for the visitors? Salah's ball in towards the 6-yard box, and it's into the back of the net. Virgil van Dijk will claim it, but it's in off a Sunderland defender who was at the back post. It was Diarra who was trying to clear it, and Liverpool have looked dangerous on these set pieces all night, and they've finally taken advantage of one. It's Sunderland 0, Liverpool 1.
Yeah, Virgil van Dijk heading it in towards the back post. As you said, Diarra, he's tried to clear it away, but he can only do so much as to head it further back into his net. I think Virgil van Dijk's shot still on target, so he'll probably still get the goal, but he's not covered himself in glory there, has Diarra.
No, he's kind of come away from the post. He should be staying on that post tight. As the header comes in, it's so hard to tell from that angle whether it was definitely going in or not from Virgil van Dijk, but Diarra made sure it did, as his bullet header into his own net hits the roof of the net, and Liverpool have finally made the breakthrough. It's Sunderland 0, Liverpool 1. We're just after an hour gone, and as the rain continues to pour down on Wearside, it's the away fans who are celebrating the opening goal, as Liverpool have some defending to do here as Roos clears it long. Van Dijk heads it away, and now it's on from Wirtz to Salah. He's hooked it over his shoulder towards the halfway line. Alderete heads it clear. Wirtz will pick it up again. Has it taken off him though by Sadiki, and now here comes Mukiele down the right hand side, swings the ball in towards the area. Brilliant defending from Endo on the stretch, who has hurt himself in the process here as he flung himself to make sure that Angulo didn't get there. Got an awful feeling that he might have got his studs or his ankles stuck in the ground as he cleared it behind, and the Japanese international will need some treatment, but that's a huge clearance.
Yeah, brilliant challenging from Endo. It looks like he has hurt himself. It did look like a nasty one as his studs got stuck in the turf, and obviously his leg buckled underneath him. Joe Gomez is warming up to replace him. I think credit to Endo defensively. Of course, he impressed when he came off the bench against Karabag. That gave him the green light to start at fullback today. And I think he's done a brilliant job up until this point. I think what surprised me with him as well is that he hasn't just stayed at right back as you'd almost expect him to do. He has tried to get forward and help his team in that regard, but it seems like he'll play it out for a minute or two.
Yeah, he's still not moving particularly well, but he is inside the penalty area to do some defending as Sunderland have the corner, right-footed, deep towards the back post. Up go the heads. Ballard heads it up in the air. Overhead kick towards goal. Allison just gets there away from Angulo. Still in the Liverpool penalty area. Alderete didn't fall to him. Gravenberg gets in the latest block to deny Mukiele, and Sunderland still have possession. The right back, Mukiele, still has it on the angle of the penalty area. Plays it out to the right-hand side. Diarra's ball in towards the box is headed away by McAllister, and Salah heads it further clear. But Sunderland pick it up again. Reinildo, ball over the top, seeking out Mukiele. Good header away by, on this occasion, Gravenberg. Still Sunderland have it on the edge of the Liverpool box. Ball by Lefay, in it goes, headed away by Konate. Volleyed back in, I should say, by Diarra. And again, Liverpool can't quite get it clear. And Mukiele on that right-hand side will swing another ball in. Gravenberch had to stretch and knocks it behind for a corner. And they're having to do some really tough defending here, Liverpool. And I think this is Endo who's gone down again here, Dill.
Yeah, Endo clearly feeling the repercussions of his interception earlier. He's gone back to ground. And credit to him for sticking it out. But up until this point, I mean, he's going down to ground, getting back up, still putting his body on the line, and then going back down. Endo clearly feeling the pain, but he's fighting through it.
I don't think he can carry on here, I have to say. I think I'd be very surprised if he's able to get back up and play on here. Joe Gomez has already stripped off, in fact, so it looks like it's going to be a like-for-like swap very shortly. How many fullbacks have Liverpool had injuries to this season? It's absolutely crazy. Of course, Conor Bradley going to be missing for pretty much the rest of the season now. Jeremy Frimpong already out as well. And, well, Kirkes is another option on the bench, of course, who prefer to play at left back. So I think that's why Gomez is stripped off first. And he looks in some real pain here, does Endo. His head and his hands lying on the turf. Arne Slot also looks a worried man at the minute as well. So could be another injury issue for Liverpool. Yeah, he's got his shirt up over his eyes at the moment. He's in some real pain. Is the Japanese international, and the stretcher's actually being called for here now. I think the Liverpool physios have decided that it was too risky to try and move him themselves and try and see if he could walk off the pitch. So stretcher is needed, and that is not a good sign for Wataru Endo. And he's done such a good job, Dale, this evening as well, in a position that's not particularly familiar for him.
Yeah, my heart goes out for him. It really does. Of course, he's waited as long as he has for the chance to, show Arne Slot that he can start, or he can at least plug holes when they're missing key players. And now, when he does get that start, he's gone down injured. And part of me thinks, as desirable as it was that he kept going and he kept fighting for those 2 minutes for the corner to come in, has he maybe potentially done more damage than good?
Yeah, he may well have made it slightly worse by staying on. He's not to know that, of course, at the time, but at the moment he looks in some discomfort, and he is now going to be stretchered off the pitch. They're taking the time in getting him on because they don't want to cause any other issues, so it's completely understandable that we have to be a little bit patient while the medical staff do their duty. It was a weird one because he did well to stretch, and you'd think maybe, was it the stretch? But it wasn't. His standing leg seemed to get stuck in the turf as he went one way, his leg went the other. I would think that this would probably be either an ankle or a knee injury, and it's like it's twisted as he went down. I think he's been given some air at the moment as well, so obviously in some real pain. So there's going to be quite a bit of injury time to be added on at the end of this game. Just to remind you, by the way, of the scorelines from the earlier kickoffs. It finished in the Premier League: Aston Villa 1, Brighton 0, Crystal Palace 2, Burnley 3. Palace had been 2 goals up in that game, and Burnley scored 3 times in 6 minutes at the end of the first half and held on in the second half to claim the points. Manchester City beat Fulham by 3-0, and it finished Nottingham Forest 0, Wolves 0. And what that means at the top of the table is that the lead again is down to 3 points, but Arsenal do have that game in hand, and they play Brentford tomorrow night. So Arsenal with 56 points from 25 games, Manchester City 53 from 26, Aston Villa third with 50 from 26, and then Manchester United 45 from 26. As things stand, Liverpool would be in 6th spot, but on 42 points, just 2 points behind 5th place Chelsea and 3 behind Manchester United. And at the bottom end of the table now, well, Wolves have added another point. They get 2 points closer to that Derby worst ever Premier League season record of 11 points. Burnley now on to 15 after their win over Crystal Palace from 25 games. And then West Ham 24 points from 26. But, West Ham got that point last night, of course, against Manchester United. Could have been more, that late goal for United. Forest have only been able to draw at home to Wolves this evening, and they now just have a 3-point cushion over West Ham. Then come Tottenham on 29, Leeds on 30, and Brighton on 31, as Joe Gomez comes on now to replace Wataru Endo, sadly gone off on a stretcher. And probably find out in the next 24 hours or so just how bad and significant that injury is for the Japanese star. As it is, it's going to be a corner kick to Sunderland now, with 22 minutes on the clock, but there'll be a number of minutes of stoppage time left to go, as the corner kick will be taken on the right-hand side by Enzo Lefebvre. Swings it in now towards the 6-yard box. Van Dijk with a brilliant header outside of his penalty area. Trey Hume will run back to win it, and now Reinildo will play it out to this left-hand side, and Sadiki back in field to Diarra. Diarra now will play the ball out to the right-hand side, and Trey Hume, who's still there from the previous clearance. Now Enzo Lefebvre down the line to Mukiele. Mukiele's ball in is headed away by Ekitike. Salah will now find Wirtz. Back to Salah with a lovely ball over the top. Salah now. Oh, and he's played it behind Gakpo and he couldn't get it in his stride. So it'll be mopped up by Hume, who goes back to his goalkeeper. And you feel, Dale, Liverpool missed an opportunity there.
Yeah, they really did. I think it just needed to be a better pass from Mohamed Salah to really set Gakpo away. I mean, for all of his faults, Cody Gakpo one-on-one against the goalkeeper. You'd certainly back the Dutchman, and well, it's a chance for Liverpool to really extend that lead. Of course, they'll be happy that they're 1-0 up, but they'll really want to make it 2.
Yeah, Sunderland in possession at the moment. Play it short with Ballard to Reinildo on this left-hand side. Down the line it goes towards Angulo. Angulo tries to dummy Joe Gomez, but is far too experienced to fall for that. And eventually he goes over to the far side and finds Mukiele. Mukiele now in towards the penalty area, plays it into the box. Gravenberg does well to clear, and Wirtz will head it down into the path of Salah. He plays a first-time ball over the top, and Ekitike's got away from Ballard. He's got Gakpo up in some support. Wirtz is trying to get up and help as well. Ekitike towards Ballard. Ekitike goes on his right foot. Can he keep possession? He can. Plays it back now to Robertson. Out wide to Salah on the edge of the penalty area. Salah now, left-footed shot as it hits the arm of Lefebvre, and then Ekitike flicks it over the bar. Well, Salah's claiming half-heartedly really for a handball by Enzo Lefebvre. It did strike him on the arm. Was it intentional? Probably not, but he's got his arm maybe in a natural position, and I think VAR are going to have a look at this, Dale.
I think VAR have to look at it simply for the position that his arms are in. I think
they've already been cleared by the looks of things.
It certainly seems to be that way, but I think he's fortunate, Enzo Lefebvre. I don't think it's intentional in any way, shape or form, but with the position of his arms, they're clear 90 degrees away from his body. We've certainly seen them given, so I wouldn't have been surprised if it had gone that way.
Here's Wirtz, plays the ball off towards Gravenberg. Gravenberg's been out-muscled off the ball though on this occasion, and Enzo Lefebvre will win it back for Sunderland. And now Diarra back to Ballard. Out to the right-hand side again, and Mukiele. Back in field to Sadiki. Sadiki's closed down quickly by Wirtz. And then the ball is played out to that right-hand side again, and Mukiele. And Sunderland trying to get numbers forward now in search of this equaliser as the ball is threaded through from Diarra to Broby. Broby gets around. Canate does brilliantly well to get a last-ditch tackle in. Mukiele picks up the ball again on the right-hand side of the penalty area. Back it goes. Ball is in low. Van Dijk just about gets a foot on it, and then it's cleared by Gomez. Sunderland, though, pouring numbers forward. Reinildo's ball into the area, and the header is over the bar from Trey Hume. Sunderland asked the question whether Broby was being fouled by Canate. I think VAR are going to look at this as well, but I think it looks like a brilliant tackle from the Frenchman.
It's certainly going to be a close one. Canate, I think he makes contact with the ball. Of course, he's holding the shirt of Broby. He goes to ground. It's a scrappy challenge. It's difficult for me to say. I err on the side of caution and think Canate's got it well, but...
Yeah, VAR look like they've cleared it by the looks of things. I'll just wait for the moment because the ball's not underway as yet, but it is now as Van Dijk plays the goal kick short to Canate, who clears it long downfield. So a close call thing, but I think he just about got enough of the ball, Canate, to get away with it. And he now under pressure from Broby goes down under the challenge. We've reached 72.5 minutes. We're probably going to have a good 6 or 7 minutes at least of added on time after the injury to Wataru Endo. It is 1-0 to Liverpool, and Dale can take you now through to full time.
And Liverpool have a free kick inside their own half. A chance for them to almost catch their own breath now. As Sunderland have been amping up the pressure, but again, the ball played into Broby. I think obviously he's trying to turn and get away from Canate before he can shoot, but part of me saying he should be trying to shoot as quick as possible, regardless of how close Canate is. Clash of heads here as Alderete goes up to challenge for the ball. Ekitike did the same, and They both just caught each other on their way up. The referee will stop play, of course, to make sure that both players are okay. And it'll be in.
I think the physios have to come on there and check for that, because there's every chance that both of them or one of them's got concussion, and as it is, referee just seems happy to play on. I think that's not great from Chris Kavanagh. I think he really has to get the physios on to check them out. As it is, they're both continuing.
Well, Chris Kavanagh happy to get things back underway as Liverpool have the ball inside the Sunderland half, but Enzo Lefebvre's doing well to battle against Florian Wirtz and win that from the German. As Alderete makes a mistake, gives the ball away to Ekitike, driving into the box. Mohamed Salah to keep it in from going over the byline, but the pass was overhit for both Salah and Wirtz. I think maybe the German could have taken a touch, but the pass wasn't great regardless. Alderete certainly being let off by Ekitike's pass there.
Yeah, Liverpool will be kicking themselves if they don't go on to win this game, because there have been a couple of really good opportunities. That the latest, and Ekitike, it's a simple 5-yard pass and he overhits it, and the chance goes a-begging as Cody Gakpo is going to make way now. Liverpool with their second change of the game. Curtis Jones is coming on to replace him. So Endo and Gakpo off in the last 5 minutes, and Curtis Jones and Joe Gomez on. And Curtis Jones will probably, I would have thought, just slot into where Gakpo was in that kind of forward three behind Ekitike.
Yeah, Curtis Jones certainly looking to almost impress, and he's never really found his starting spot in this Liverpool side. As Sunderland take the free kick, deliver it into the penalty area, but it's cleared away by Virgil van Dijk. And then held on its way by Andy Robertson, although he's gone to ground now.
Yeah, I think Mukiele accidentally, I have to say, stood on his foot. Again, like we had that similar incident with Diarra in the first half. He's just stood on his right foot as he, or the back, it's actually the back of his heel. Wasn't pretty, but it was completely inadvertent. And certainly no blame attached to Sunderland man. Robertson's back up at his feet and good to go.
And yet again, Sunderland not taking the long throw-in opportunity. Plays it Mukiele. He takes the shot, but it's over the bar. Not really testing. Alisson is the Frenchman, but still a good chance.
That was from the sublime to the ridiculous. He did brilliantly well to get away from Salah and then away from Robertson, and then he's just lost the plot and just blasted it as hard as he could. His whistle way over the bar. And the Sunderland fans behind the goal were as frustrated as any time tonight, because he was really in a good position and he didn't make the most of it.
Mukiele obviously trying to get a goal in this game. Of course, he was the one who scored the own goal in the reverse fixture. As Florian Wirtz it was who shot it off the boot of the Frenchman. A little reunion for those two former Bayer Leverkusen men. As Alisson plays the ball out towards the left-hand side for Curtis Jones. As Wirtz comes up against Mukiele. And a long ball over the top for Ekitike to break on the left-hand side. Plenty of space for him to run into, but he'll have to put a ball into the box. To pour one though, and it's an easy clearance for Alderete. As Wirtz hassles Trey Hume for the ball. Illegally, says Chris Kavanagh. So a free kick the way of Sunderland. And it was a really good chance there for Liverpool to come forward, and a good ball into the box, and Salah could have had a chance.
Yeah, he could have. He's had a couple of half opportunities this evening. Probably the best one was when Ekitike rolled it back into his path in the second half, and his goal-bound shot was flicked over by Ronaldo. I just wonder how long it'll be until Regis Lebris makes a change. Don't really think Angulo's had the impact that he'd have hoped on this left-hand side. He maybe decides to bring Talby on, and maybe even give Broby a break and bring fresh legs up front. He's got Mayenda and Isidore on the bench if needs be.
Certainly plenty of options for Lebris' side. As a ball in behind, looking for Broby, is intercepted by Ibrahima Konate. Ball out towards Mohamed Salah as he drives at Dan Ballard. Plays it towards Wirtz. Plenty of options, but they all appear to be offside. Out towards Robertson. Ball into the box. Ekitike with the chance, and it's whistled past the post. Plenty of opportunities, but that's the best one for Ekitike in this game.
Should score, really should score. He's just about kept himself onside. It's a great ball in from Robertson. I think Alderete just did enough to put him off balance a little bit, but he's just trying to be too precise by heading it down. He's just got to hit the target from there. If the keeper makes a save, then you hold your hands up, but he's got to at least make him make a save. In the end, he heads it wide of the far post, and that could have killed the game off.
It certainly could have done, and now Sunderland look to respond with substitutions. Looks like Talby's warming up, as well as it appears to be Romain Mundle. And there is a third man, Gage Reeder, who will, of course, play against the team that tried to sign him in the January transfer window. But no mention of Isidore, no mention of Mayenda, so it appears, of course, we'll get confirmation that Broby will stay on. It looks like Trey Hume will make his way off, as well as Angulo. And we'll get confirmation of the third substitution in just a moment. But Talby is coming on, as well as Mundle. So those two are confirmed. Still waiting to see that third substitution. It looks like Alderete, who went down to ground earlier. Of course, he also had that head injury, so just not taking any chances in bringing Gage Reeder on.
Yeah, I think Alderete did have that clash of heads, but I think he also may well have injured himself trying to get back at Ekatike there. So Talby, Mundle and Gertruda are the three that have come on for Sunderland, who are looking to try and build again from the back as Ballard plays it to Roofs, and he'll again launch it long downfield right-footed.
Yeah, Virgil van Dijk will win the header. Diarra in midfield, plays it in behind, looking for Broby, but Virgil van Dijk will usher it back to Alisson Becker. And it's easily held by the Brazilian goalkeeper. Broby just giving a little shove to the back of Virgil van Dijk. But he's got away with it up until now as a long ball from Alisson. Find that it's gone all the way through to the other goalkeeper. Dan Ballard. Now Geertruida on this left-hand side as Sunderland attack. Back out to Geertruida once more. And Sunderland, it's their turn to just hold on to the ball for a moment, try and frustrate this Liverpool side. Of course, 10 minutes left on the clock, plenty of added time, I'm sure. Sunderland only losing by 1-0, so they're not running out of hope as of yet. Into midfield now as Talby turns on the ball, plays it back towards Ballard. He's then found Mundle on this left-hand side. And then Siddiqui back to Mundle. Sunderland coming forward now. Mundle driving down on goal. Comes forward on this left-hand side. Reynaldo finds Mundle again. Tries to cut in on his right, but it's brilliant defensive work from Joe Gomez. Quick passes from Liverpool, and eventually they'll get it away. Out towards Ekatike. He's going to have to hold off Geertruida for a moment, but he's drew in the foul. Not a foul, a challenge even. And won a throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, well done to Joe Gomez there from a defensive point of view for Liverpool, because he stayed steady under a bit of chopping and changing from Sunderland on that left-hand side. He just got a crucial touch on it. Sure that Mundle made the most of it, really, as he tried to cut in field, but credit where credit's due for Joe Gomez as he hurls this throw-in down the line. Ekatike trying to find Salah. This time, though, Sunderland have worked it clear.
Yeah, Sunderland still trying to scramble it away. They've got it to safety, but now eventually Robin Roofs will get it well and truly away and out of their half. But again, it's gone from keeper to keeper as Alisson plays it out towards Robertson. Back to Alisson once more. Just trying to draw out this Sunderland side. Of course, as soon as Sunderland came out in the second half, a little bit more aggressive, they were able to get the goal. Where Liverpool, as Curtis Jones is the man that the camera's focused on. Of course, he's tried to come on and make his impact, but as of yet, struggled to see much of the ball. Siddiqui seems to have dropped a little bit deeper now since the substitutions have come on. Almost a back five at times, it seems, for Sunderland, as Mundle picks the ball up on the left-hand side. Faced up against Mohamed Salah. Finds Diarra. Back to Geertruida. And Sunderland, it's their turn to play the patient game, as Ballard picks the ball up on the right-hand side. Back in towards Siddiqui. Liverpool, of course, happy to absorb some pressure for now, as they lead 1-0. No real need for them to force an issue and try and win the ball back, but Curtis Jones and Joe Gomez almost doing the job, as eventually Sunderland will scramble it away, but unable to really create many chances, even with the substitutes coming on. Lafay out towards the left-hand side. Reached almost a cagey atmosphere as Brobby's played in behind. Virgil van Dijk trying to shove him off the ball. Mundle tries to put a ball into the box. Instead plays it to Ronaldo. Back to Mundle. Cross in towards the back post. Did take a deflection. And eventually Curtis Jones will half clear it away. Trying to find Ekitike. But Dan Ballard steps up and wins the ball back for Sunderland. On the right-hand side. Talby plays it in towards Diarra. Still has the ball, does the number 19. Sunderland, again, just looking to build up. Clearly, they understand that they have to come forward, have to hold on to the ball a little bit more and create more chances. Reynaldo, Gaetruida tries to find Enzo Lafay, but his pass is misplaced and it'll filter all the way through to Allison. But for all the possession that Sunderland had, still not a shot.
No, and they're trying to work it wide on occasions. Mundle had a couple of occasions to get the ball into the penalty area and eventually did. It got a deflection and Liverpool were able to deal with it. What I will say is that Liverpool have been a bit sloppy in possession in the last 5 or 10 minutes. When they can hold the ball and potentially get Sunderland working from side to side and take advantage of those tired legs towards the end, they're giving the ball away cheaply and they're almost allowing Sunderland to come onto them, and they're dropping a bit deeper at the moment. Arne Slot will be wanting them to try and push up another 10 or 15 yards, but it is difficult on a heavy pitch on a wet night when you've worked as hard as you have. You really need to find those last little bits of energy now to see out the remaining 5 minutes plus probably another 7 or 8 minutes of stoppage time.
Dan Ballard picks the ball up on the right hand side of the pitch. He finds Habib Diarra once more to Ballard. The Northern Irishman plays it in towards midfield as they look to come forward now with Ronaldo. But he's instead played it back once more. It's almost like Sunderland are looking for the perfect goal, the perfect opportunity. Sometimes brute force is the best option as they put a ball into the box, but Allison will claim it with ease. The Brazilian's hands sturdy as ever as he looks to keep a clean sheet tonight. Out towards Joe Gomez, playing out from the back. Liverpool as Mohamed Salah tries to pick the ball up, but he's given away a foul, although Chris Kavanagh did initially wave for some advantage. But he's now brought it back for the free kick. Liverpool will make a change now. It looks like Federico Chiesa will be coming onto the pitch. Looks like a few others may be warming up, but no one's ready as of yet. As Mundle picks the ball up on the left-hand side. Does well to skip past Curtis Jones, and anyone who says Mohamed Salah doesn't track back, well, it's a crucial challenge there from the Egyptian as he plays it back towards Curtis Jones. Once more to Allison. He'll clear it away. And Salah pops up again on the other side of the pitch as Curtis Jones plays it out towards the left-hand side. Ekitike, plenty of space to run into. Up against Talby and Mukiele, cuts in on his right foot, finds Curtis Jones, out towards Florian Wirtz. Just brings the ball to a stop in the box, lays it back for Jones, who shoots, and it's just over the bar, but it's a really good chance for Curtis Jones. Just inches over.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I was thinking that they were going to pull the trigger before then. Eventually Curtis Jones put his foot through it. It wasn't too far wide, just over, probably about 6 inches over the crossbar. It's actually going to be Ekitike who's going to make way here for Chiesa late on. I would imagine that Chiesa will go through the middle and just like-for-like swap with Ekitike. Other option is that they put Salah through the middle and Chiesa goes out on the right-hand side. But he's worked tirelessly this evening, Ekitike. I wouldn't say it's been his best performance in a Liverpool jersey, but he has worked hard for the team. And he's done his bit for this evening as Federico Chiesa comes on to replace him with 2.5 minutes of normal time and then stoppages to go.
Yeah, Sunderland have a goal kick, of course, from that chance. I have to agree with you. I think Ekitike, relative to his recent performances, it certainly hasn't been one of his greatest, but that's no discredit at all. I don't think he's played poorly. He's, of course, just not got on the score sheet, which I think Liverpool fans have come to expect from their number 22. As Joe Gomez picks the ball up on the right-hand side, finds McAllister, then Curtis Jones. It looks like Chiesa's moved out to the left-hand side, which will allow Curtis Jones to go back central. And Mohamed Salah to go through the middle. As Florian Wirtz will probably fill out that right-hand-sided role. Curtis Jones back towards McAllister. They'll go all the way back, will Liverpool. But a token of hope for Sunderland as Liverpool have conceded 4 90th minute winners this season. The joint most in a single Premier League campaign. But of course, Sunderland not going for a winner, but still, credit that they can still score late on. Liverpool have shown vulnerabilities to that fact. Virgil van Dijk, ball over the top, finds Mohamed Salah. Unable to claim it though is the Egyptian. It'll filter back through towards Joe Gomez, who's somehow marauded forward, found himself on the edge of the penalty area, but he's been dispossessed by Mukiele. And Joe Gomez going all the way to pressure the goalkeeper. Of course, he's never scored for Liverpool, has Joe Gomez. Still a chip on his shoulder, some might say, as Curtis Jones finds Joe Gomez back towards Alexis McAllister. Not too far from the 90th minute now, as Mundle picks the ball up for Sunderland in midfield. And well, I don't want to say Chiesa is the reason for this, but since that substitution, maybe he had some instructions for the team. Liverpool seem to have regained that comfortability.
They've kept the ball a lot better in the last sort of 5 minutes, Dale, and I think they're trying to work Sunderland hard now to try and win it back. They've got the personnel, of course, to just play those triangles and keep Sunderland moving, and then McAllister overruns it, and this is where you're in trouble if you end up giving it away in the middle of the park. But Liverpool have now got bodies behind the ball again.
It was a misplaced pass from McAllister that's allowed Sunderland to recapture possession. We've crossed over the 90th minute mark, and you were right on the mark, Warren, as it's 7 minutes of added time. Geertruida out towards the right hand side, finds Talby, ball into the box, but it's delivered in towards the back post. Joe Gomez with plenty of space and plenty of ability to head it back into the safe hands of Alisson Becker.
That was class defending, wasn't it? He saw what was around him and he knew he could just nod the ball back down to his goalkeeper, perfectly into his arms. Again, a long ball causing Sunderland some problems at the back, and Salah, you just feel, is going to have one more opportunity in this game. The way that the ball keeps dropping in and around the edge of the penalty area for Liverpool. As it is, Sunderland have worked it clear, and Ballard will run it up towards halfway.
Yes, Ballard with the ball just crossing over the halfway line, trying to maraud forward and edge his team on. And Sunderland still in possession. Siddiqui, ball out towards the left-hand side, finds Romain Mundle. Looks to cut in, put a ball into the box, but McAllister will clear it. Takes a deflection off of Gravenberch though, and Joe Gomez will try and win the ball. Doesn't quite do so as Mundle gets into the penalty area, goes to ground from the challenge from McAllister. Chris Kavanagh instantly waved it away, but I'm sure we'll get a couple of replays in a short VAR check.
He looked to flick the ball and then jump in towards McAllister, Romain Mundle here. McAllister doesn't have to get out the way. He's turned his back as if to say, I'm not even putting in a challenge. I don't think there'll be anything given here, as Wilson Isidore is stripped off, ready to come on for Sunderland. Another body to go forward here in the closing stages. Just seeing who it is. It's Diarra who's going to make way. It might well be his goal, inadvertently an own goal, which gives the 3 points to the way things stand at the moment. But they've still got time, Sunderland, with 5 minutes of added on time, as Ballard flicks this one way wide of the goal and behind for a goal kick. So Isidore is on, Diarra off, and it means that Sunderland will probably be playing with 2 up top now.
Yeah, it certainly will. And if you include Lefay, who's more of an attacking midfielder, that'd be 5 attackers on the pitch for Sunderland. So you certainly can't say that they're not going for it in this game. Of course, looking to maintain that record of the only team unbeaten at home in the Premier League. To do that, they just need a goal. As Curtis Jones, it's a lovely flick from the Englishman to get it away. Tries to find Gravenberch. As Sunderland come forward now. And Curtis Jones again winning the ball back out towards the right hand side. Mohamed Salah has an option of Florian Wirtz in front of him. Also has Chiesa to his left and just kept hold of the ball there. Curiously did Mohamed Salah, as Chiesa picks it up on the right hand side. Plays it back towards McAllister. Has the option of an overlapping run from Gomez, but he's now retreated. Back towards Curtis Jones. He's drawn the foul from Wilson Isidore, and it will be a Liverpool free kick deep inside the Sunderland half, but still plenty of distance from the goal. Just seeing a replay of that flick there from Curtis Jones. It really is a lovely bit of skill.
Yeah, did well in that build-up there, Curtis Jones. Just thought Mo Salah had almost given the ball away when Liverpool looked like they were away for a second, but was won back well, and they were able to keep possession again. And now they go backwards again with Van Dijk to Alisson. We've now had almost 94 minutes, 3 more minutes of added on time left to go.
Ball through towards Mohamed Salah, finds its way into the penalty area. Salah tries to cut in on his left foot. Geertruida stabs a foot at the ball and almost pokes it into his own net.
Well, that would have been a really unfortunate own goal. One long ball over the top from Alisson. Salah got the other side of Ronaldo, tried to flick it around Geertruida. It hit him on the ankle, and then Roos was off his line, diving desperately to his left-hand side. In the end, it went wide of the post, and Liverpool have a corner, and they'll be in no real hurry to take this.
I just love the dynamic of when the first 11 or 12 corners, the 6-yard box was full, and now with 3 minutes left to go, not even that, not a single green shirt in the box for the corner, as Robertson picks the ball up in midfield, finds Chiesa. He'll run towards the byline, up against the Sunderland 9. Broby, who's come back to defend. Mukiele's helped out and won the ball. Geertruida looks to get it away. Can only find Talby playing a dangerous game, playing it around the back are Sunderland, but they'll just about get it away. As a lovely chop from Robin Rose until he eventually keeps the ball for a little bit too long. Keeps it in danger, as they will now get it over the halfway line for a split second as McAllister slides in and gives away the throw. It's a lovely chop from Rose, but he just holds on to it for too long and allows Jones to get a touch on the ball.
Yeah, just about got away with it, the Sunderland keeper. There's a Sunderland player down at the moment. I think it might be Mukiele, who is hobbling around. In fact, it's Sadiki, just looking at the camera angle again. The midfielder's really badly hobbling at the moment. He's trying to carry on as Roos clears long downfield.
Yeah, Roos plays a long ball over the top. 2 Sunderland players beaten to the ball by Ibrahima Konate. And another long ball over the top, intercepted, but it was looking for Mohamed Salah, as Liverpool still try and come forward. Just over 60 seconds left on the clock as Robertson strides forward on the left-hand side. If they get a goal now, it certainly is game over for Labree's side. Dink ball in towards Mohamed Salah, who shoots, and again it's inches wide on that far post. Mohamed Salah on his weak foot on the half turn. It's a lovely strike. He's well and truly beaten Robin Rose, but he's also beaten the far post.
I don't think he can believe it. He struck it beautifully with his right foot, and Roos wasn't getting there, and it's inches wide of the far post. That would have definitely killed the game off. As it is, we've got 30 seconds of added on time, and Chiesa's been penalised for a foul on the halfway line. Sunderland will have one more opportunity.
Yeah, I'm sure Robin Rose will hoist this ball into the penalty area, almost taking it like a goal kick, as Liverpool hold a very high line just outside their own box, so they'll have to place it well. Will Sunderland? Robin Rose with the ball into the box. Virgil van Dijk is being pulled back. Yeah. Foul has been given by Chris Kavanagh. Dan Ballard is absolutely livid with that decision. I have to say, I don't understand where that comes from.
He's got both arms around Van Dijk's shoulders and he's pulling him back. And yeah, as soon as Chris Kavanagh saw that, he was always going to give a free kick. That might well be it.
Full-time whistle is imminent for Arne Slot and his men. Back to winning ways for Liverpool as the full-time whistle has blown. The decider coming from a Virgil van Dijk header assisted by Mo Salah means at full-time it is Sunderland 0, Liverpool 1.
Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved. Don't forget, when the match kicks off, you can sit back and enjoy superb independent studio commentary while also enjoying our in-play betting opportunities. Good luck. Our next football commentary match is getting ever nearer, so why not take the opportunity of having a bet on the match? Whether you're interested in betting on the match result, the first player to score, the last scorer, correct score, double result, total goals market, handicap betting, or any other of our exciting market, it's fun to be involved.